election, an affair that closely resembles a mega sale. Look, free plastic bags. And over here, we have free broadcasts of the EPL. And over in that corner, free weddings. Seriously? And politicians wonder why young people couldn't give two shits about where the country is heading. It's like assuming all millennials ever wanted in their career are beanbags and a pantry full of free cookies. According to the Election Commission, as of its 2017 second quarter electoral roll, close to 2.5 million Malaysians aged between 21 and 30 were not registered to vote. Vote like vote ki, kau boy masih siang eh. So why the apathy? First off, it can feel like very few politicians actually get young voters, because so many of them are old enough to be your parents or grandparents. Sure, there are some up-and-coming exceptions like PPBM's Syed Saddiq and MCA's Daniel Wah, and political parties are starting to field more and more new faces for the upcoming polls. But the bulk of politicians are still the veterans. As Vun Zhengyi from CPPS Malaysia pointed out, 70% of MPs in our parliament are aged 50 and above. And if you ask the statistics department, the largest segment in Malaysia's adult population is between the ages of 20 to 29. That major gap in age means that trying to explain our needs to a politician can be a bit like Mark Zuckerberg trying to explain how Facebook works to elderly senators.
Well, if so, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
So obviously, the people who understand millennials' demands are grossly underrepresented. Now, it's not to say that we don't appreciate maturity in those actually running the country. But when you have the same faces for decades, and I'm talking about both BN and Pakatan, it can feel like politics have become stagnated. And let's not even go into existing political dynasties. It is probably this feeling of being hopelessly stuck in the mud that's the reason why survey after surveys are reporting that more than half of our youth population thinks that politicians don't care about their opinion, and 1 in 4 felt that voting wouldn't make a difference. Don't get me wrong, just fielding young candidates is not a recipe for snaring youth votes. Politicians must truly understand that they need to offer us what we want. Forget about the impractical wish list and the promise of stability. Don't forget, this generation thrives on disruption. Millennials live for advancements in transportation, technology, and communications. The possibilities are endless. We do not want to stay still. And we're not naive enough to fall for promises that in reality are a nightmare to implement. What we want is to build a life in an inclusive, progressive society, with equal opportunities in jobs and resources, a manageable cost of living, a public service that performs efficiently, and freedom to live out our potential. And we want all the pledges carried out, not remain empty promises that can be recycled when the next election comes around. Sure, millennials are idealistic, but who doesn't want a good life? On the surface, we want avocado toast and Insta-worthy latte. But don't forget, this is also a generation that might be able to 3D print an organ rather than queuing up for a transplant. Millennials want full control of their environment and have an attention span of a goldfish.
Ain't nobody got time, ain't nobody got time, ain't nobody got time for that.
So if Malaysia wants to inspire its youth to be part of the political discourse, it can't afford to wait for another 4 years to show us progress. Just saying.